really fancy. Ooh la la. Some artists call fancy letters illuminated letters. Ooh, that's fun to say. Illuminated letters. Try that with me. Illuminated letters. Those are fancy, fancy letters. So rather than just writing a letter very simple like this, we are going to make it next level awesome. And to do something like this, all it takes is combining some simple lines and shapes. It's going to be very cool. So get ready to combine your lines and shapes into your letter. We're going to practice our lettering this week with our initial. What's an initial, you might say? An initial is the first letter of your name. My name is Miss Morningstar, so I decided to choose the initial M, which is the first letter of my name, Miss Morningstar. If your name is Calvin, then your initial is a letter C. If your name is Lillian, then your initial is a letter L. If your name is Raymond, then your initial is a letter R. So everyone is going to be making a different letter depending on what their initial is. So before you start, take some time and think, what is my name and what is my initial? What is my first letter of my name? Once you know that, then you're ready to get started. And we are going to practice our initials in uppercase and lowercase lettering. So in the end, you will have two initials, one the same letter in uppercase and lowercase. To make this art project today, friends, all we need is 4 things. 1, a piece of paper. 2, pencil. 3, an eraser, just in case. 4, coloring supplies. Markers, crayons, colored pencils, whatever works. When you have all of your art supplies, come right back here so that we can make our initials. Ooh la la. Hi, boys and girls. For our fancy lettering, we're going to try 2 different letters. We're going to practice twice. So to prepare our paper, you're going to have it this way, nice and long in front of you, not tall like this. You want to turn it this way so your paper is horizontal and long in front of you. Then you are going to fold it in half, left to right. So pick up the short side and fold it over almost like your laptop or your Chromebook style. Match up those corners really good. Then while you're holding it with one hand, slide your finger across to get that crease and then crease that flat. Awesome. Now my paper is folded in half. And look, if I turn it this way, it's just like a laptop or a Chromebook. If it's like a laptop or Chromebook, you know you've done it right. Then I'm going to open up my page and I'm going to use my pencil and write my initial. What is my initial? My initial, boys and girls, is the first letter of my name. Now, you all might have a different initial than me. So you're going to write your first initial on your page, and I would like you to do an uppercase and a lowercase letter, the same letter. So I'm an M, so I'm going to write an uppercase M, really big, make it fill that whole page. And then next to it, I'm going to do a lowercase m, which is a little bit shorter and has 2 bumpy tops. So that's my first initial, a capital M and a lowercase m. Now, boys and girls, we are going to do some bubble lettering or block lettering. And to do that, we use copycat lines that follow exactly the line we have already made, but around the outside of it. Okay, so I'm going to take my pencil again, and instead of going right on top of my line, I'm going to go outside of it a little bit, leave a little bit of space, and I'm going to copycat. So my line that I'm about to draw is going to copy exactly the line that's already there, right next to it, like two friends walking down the street together. So it's going to copy it, stay right next to it. When it gets up here to the top of my M, it's going to circle back around, whoop, and keep copying, staying right next to its original line friend. Comes down here, it's going to keep copying, go up, and follow back down. Now when I get here, watch, my copycat line is going to loop around the edge and keep going. It goes around the whole thing because, boys and girls, we are using our copycat lines to make a fence. And this fence is going to lock in my big capital letter M, close that door, doink. And now my M is inside of a bubble. Whoa, that's super cool. I'm going to do the same thing to my lowercase m over here with a copycat line. It's going to stay right next to my original M. When I get to an edge, I loop around. I'm going to come up. It's going to follow this guy, so scoop. Back down, loop, up here, scoop, come back down, loop, and now it's going to copycat that whole way around. If I get to a point on the middle, I'm going to come back out. Very good. Loop around that top. Perfect. Good job. Once I have my copycat lines done, I'm going to use a marker or a crayon and outline my copycat line, not my original one. I'm going to erase that. I'm going to outline my copycat line so that it's good and bold and big. Now, boys and girls, you can take your eraser and you can erase your very first letter that you made and make it go away. Now, boys and girls, for the next step, we want to make our letters fancy, really fancy. So we are going to use things like lines and shapes to fill in the inside and the outside of our letters to do some cool things. So we have all different kinds of lines: straight, zigzag, bumpy, wavy, wiggly, wave, block, and we also have vertical, diagonal, and horizontal lines. You can use all these different kinds of lines to decorate the inside and the outside of your letters to make them extra fancy. You can also use different shapes that we know, we practiced them already, to decorate those letters. I am going to use a few different lines to decorate the insides of my letters and the outsides. I'm going to use some markers or crayons, whatever works for you, or colored pencils. And I'm going to start decorating. I think I'm going to start with the inside first. You can do these any way you want. You choose. I'm going to start, I think, by doing some zigzag lines inside of my M. So I'm zigging and zagging across my letter M. Just on the inside, not on the outside. Look at all these zigzags. Oh, wow. That is pretty cool. Awesome. Now I'm going to do another thing. Maybe now that I have zigzags, I can also fill it with something else. Maybe I also would like to put some polka dots in there. That's pretty cool. Maybe in between my zigs and my zags, I'm going to put some polka dots. Now the inside of my letter is looking pretty snazzy, but the outside is a little bit bare. So I think I'm going to use some of my cool extra lines to add some details. I'm going to use my bumpy line first. Once you have your first one done, you can even color in some of those different sections and shapes. I'm going to make a pattern. I'm going to color in 3 yellow and then leave 2 blank. And now we're going to try it again, but a little different here for my little mini lowercase m. You can do any styles you want. I think maybe I could do some dashed lines on the inside of my letter M. And remember, you can make them all different. Maybe I will do some straight lines on the outside. It almost looks like it has hair, boys and girls. That's so silly. My hairy letter. Goodness gracious. Maybe on the end of my hairy letters, I will put a few shapes for fun, like some hearts. And some polka dots. Miss Morningstar really likes polka dots. I didn't think about making it a pattern this time, and that's okay. And now I think I want to color this in a little bit more. So I'm going to find, I want orange. And I'm going to color in the background of my letter M, orange. So boys and girls, you're going to use different shapes and different lines to decorate the inside and outside of your letters, turning them from something very simple into something very, very exciting. Good work, boys and girls. You made really cool, fancy letters. Now this part is going to get us ready for our